After 3 years of marriage, I still couldn't get pregnant. Under my husband's persuasion, I finally got pregnant after 2 years of IVF. When I was 8 months pregnant, I overheard a conversation between Joe and his best friend Zack. You deliberately fed Lily contraceptive pills for 3 years, just to make her feel that she was infertile, and then took the opportunity to force her to do IVF, just to transplant Lindsay's eggs into her body. Your trick is too cruel. Joe didn't care. He shrugged his shoulder while said, after 10 months of pregnancy, not only will her figure be out of shape, but she will also have to endure the 10th level of pain during childbirth. I can't bear to let Lindsay suffer this. Looking at the man who was full of calculations, I dialed the hospital's appointment number without hesitation. Hello, I want to make an appointment for an abortion, I said firmly. Aren't you afraid that Lily will collapse after knowing the truth? After all, no one wants to raise a child for others. What's more, the child she gave birth to after 10 months of pregnancy is someone else's child. Zack looked at Joe teasingly. How could she know if she's so stupid? Besides, even if she knew, what would happen? She's already 8 months pregnant. Would she abort the baby? Look at her now. She's as fat as a pig. Who else would want her except me? Yes, everyone knows how much Lily likes you. She's been sticking to you like a dogskin plaster all these years. But I'm quite curious about what it's like to be a pregnant woman, Zack said as he had an evil look on his face and raised his eyebrows at Joe. Joe then showed a hint of disgust in his eyes. He said, she's as fat as a pig. I can't even get interested just looking at her, let alone that kind of thing. I'd rather watch a porn movie than look at her belly that's like a watermelon. It makes me sick. Since you're not interested, let me try it next time. I really want to try what it's like to be a pregnant woman, Zack offered excitedly. After Zack finished speaking obscenely, the two people in the room laughed, and every laugh was like a knife stabbing into my heart. Because of the test tube, I had taken countless hormone drugs and countless injections in the past 2 years, and my body had become bloated and out of shape. After I became pregnant, Joe was always worried that I was not getting enough nutrition, so he asked me to take a lot of supplements every day, which led to the fetus being too large. My belly was covered with ugly stretch marks in 5 months. I used to think that he felt sorry for my efforts, but now I understand that he only cares about the combination of him and Lindsay in my belly. I clenched my palms tightly and cold sweat kept coming out of my back. I almost ran away from this suffocating house. After calming down, I took out my mobile phone without hesitation and called the hospital's appointment number. Hello, I want to make an appointment for abortion, I said firmly. I rushed to the hospital overnight. I was afraid that I would go crazy if I stayed for a second longer. The doctor on duty at the hospital looked at my huge belly and confirmed with me again and again. Your belly is already 8 months. Are you sure you want to abort it now? Where is the father of the child? Dead. Since Joe was looking forward to this child so much, I would prepare a big gift for him. The doctor looked at my despairing eyes and didn't ask any more questions. He quickly prescribed medicine for me and handed me the appointment form. Take the medicine and come to the hospital for surgery 3 days later. I returned home tiredly with the appointment form, but found that the password lock at home kept showing incorrect password. Just as I was about to make a call, the door suddenly opened and Lindsay came out in a sexy nightgown. Lily, the light at my home is broken. Joe is worried that I will be alone at home, so he asked me to move to his house during this period. He changed the password to my birthday because he was afraid that I would not remember it. You won't mind, right? My eyes fell on Lily's fallen shoulder straps. There was a clear mark on her chest and there was nothing inside. Lily is the most considerate. How could she mind? Said someone inside. Joe sat on the sofa, his pants were wrinkled, his clothes were worn backwards, and there was a puddle of water on the sofa. Joe got up and hugged me in his arms. You went out so late without telling me. You are pregnant now. What should I do if something happens to you? I felt cold inside when I saw Joe's affectionate look. On the surface, he was caring for me, but secretly he was having an affair with his first love in my home. He even changed his password for fear that I would come back suddenly. I didn't bother with him too much and went upstairs directly. Joe, who never liked to drink milk, suddenly poured me a glass of milk at night. You are in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy now. You should pay more attention to supplementing protein and calcium. Be good and drink the milk. My eyes darkened when I looked at the milk Joe handed over. I don't want to drink it. Joe was embarrassed when he saw me refuse, but he still coaxed me patiently. I am doing this for your and the child's good. Be good and listen. After that, Joe poured the milk into my mouth without saying anything. After drinking the sweet and fishy milk, I began to feel drowsy. In a trance, I seemed to see 2 figures overlapping beside me. When I woke up the next day, I felt so painful that I could hardly get up. I turned on my mobile video after Joe went to work. I turned on my mobile video after Joe fed me milk yesterday, and then hid the phone in the flower pot. The moment I saw the video, a sense of shame tugged at my heart. After I fell asleep, Joe and Lindsay kissed all the way from the door and rolled to my side. Joe, you don't know how uncomfortable I feel when I see you with this woman every day, Lindsay said coquettishly. Joe spit on my face and then kicked me away. How can this fat woman compare with you? I am with her just for the child in her belly. If I didn't want you to suffer, how could I marry her? Compared with you, she can't even compare to a hair of yours. Lindsay looked at me with interest. Are you sure you gave her enough sleeping pills? Lindsay said as she began to strip off my clothes. What if she finds out the truth after she gives birth? It's better for us to keep some evidence against her. Joe seemed to agree with Lindsay's words and helped Lindsay to take off my clothes until I was completely naked. Then the two dragged me to a stool and asked me to sit with my legs wide open facing the bed. Joe took a mobile phone and kept taking pictures of me, while Lindsay kept changing my posture. After taking enough pictures, the two began to move recklessly towards me who was sleeping. I watched the scenes on the phone with tears in my eyes and my heart was in pain. I turned off the phone and swallowed the medicine prescribed by the doctor without hesitation. What are you taking? Suddenly, Joe's nervous voice came from the door, and I met his concerned eyes. It's just an ordinary calcium tablet, I said, tried my best to stay calm. Joe was relieved when he heard me say this and then walked upstairs. I forgot to take a document. I watched Joe's back as he went upstairs and picked up his phone on the table. I entered Lindsay's birthday and soon Joe's phone popped up a wallpaper of him and Lindsay hugging and kissing. His phone was indeed dual system. I quickly opened Joe's chat software, and the top one was Lindsay's avatar, and the second one was a group chat between him and his brothers. I opened the group chat and the message I saw made my heart tremble, and my phone almost fell to the ground. It was filled with the nude photos that Joe and Lindsay took last night. Joe, this dude is unstoppable. Lily still looks charming. You know what, this pregnant woman looks really special, but I don't know how she tastes. Don't say it. Lily looks like a bitch. She would be the top star in the club. The obscene words of Zack and others made my mind go blank, as if I was a naked beast, being pointed at and humiliated through the screen. Baby, why are your eyes red? When Joe came downstairs with the information, I had already sat back on the sofa. Joe took a blanket to cover me. The weather is still a little cold. You are still pregnant. You must pay more attention, he said lightly. He continued, it's Lindsay's birthday tonight. I plan to prepare a birthday party for her at home, and specially invite a few friends to come home in the evening. You should dress nicely. When I heard Lindsay's name, I trembled slightly and my expression turned cold. I want to rest well at home today and don't want to be disturbed, I said with low voice. Joe's face immediately sank and said, Lindsay's birthday only comes once a year. I just celebrated her birthday. Do you really want to use your pregnancy to pressure me? I have been accommodating to you during your pregnancy, but I cannot agree to this. Even though I haven't said anything yet, Joe couldn't wait to defend his first love. I should have known it long ago. Love and hate were really obvious. In the end, Joe still invited his friends to come to his house to celebrate Lindsay's birthday. As soon as I got downstairs, I felt that everyone's eyes were on me. There was a bit of teasing, a bit of sarcasm, and a bit of ill intention in those eyes. Lily, we are wearing the same skirt. We are really in sync. Lindsay came over and took my hand intimately. Only then did I notice that the red skirt on my body was exactly the same as Lindsay's. This skirt looks better on you, Lindsay. Lily is fat and ugly with a big belly now. How can she have half of your charm? Said Joe as if he did not hesitate to pull down my praise for Lindsay. Joe, you can't say that. In my opinion, your wife looks even more special when she's pregnant. Zack held my hand and then rubbed the back of my hand with his palm, his eyes full of frivolity. I tried hard to shake off Zack's hand, but found that he held it tighter and raised his eyebrows at me frivolously. I like your wife Lily like this. It feels good to touch. I casted a look at Joe for help, but saw Joe looking at me indifferently. You are like this now. My brother praises you. It's your blessing. Don't be ungrateful. I gritted my teeth and the sound almost came out from the gap between my teeth. Joe, I am your wife. Joe then slowly stood up from the sofa and pulled me over. Baby, they are just joking with you. You are just too serious. Joe tried to coax me. I shook his hand coldly and gritted my teeth. You guys play by yourselves. I'm going to go upstairs to rest. Just as I was about to leave, Joe handed me a glass of milk. Drink the milk first. It's for calcium supplements. After drinking the milk, go and rest. I looked at the milk in Joe's hand and my body trembled for no reason. What do you want to do? I'm just worried that you are calcium deficient in the late pregnancy and want to supplement you. Don't you still trust your husband? Joe still looked concerned. I pushed the milk away. I don't want to drink it. Joe's face quickly turned cold. I've given you enough face today. I'm doing this for your own good. Drink it quickly. Joe, don't be so fierce. If Lily doesn't want to drink, don't force her. After all, she's still a pregnant woman. You should be more accommodating to her, someone said from behind. Lindsay came over at the right time and handed me a cup of hot water. Lily, drink a cup of hot water first. I held the cup of water in my hand and looked at the clear water in the cup. Can I go upstairs and rest after I drink the water? I drank the water in one gulp. The warm water slid down my throat and then I began to feel my body gradually getting hot, as if countless worms were crawling and gnawing on my body. What did you give me to drink? After asking this question, my legs felt as heavy as if they were filled with lead, and then my body softened and fell into a strange embrace. My eyes were hazy and I could only see Zack's evil face looking at me impatiently and his hands kept stroking my body. Lindsay, you are still cruel enough. You are afraid that the photos can't threaten her, so you directly drugged her and let her throw herself into your arms. Even if she finds out the secret of surrogacy, she won't dare to tell anyone with this handle in her hand. You can still control her at that time. Let me go. I screamed with all my remaining sanity, but I couldn't use any strength at all. I could only look at Joe, trying to awaken his conscience. Joe put his arm around Lindsay and glanced at me coldly before looking at Zack. You guys be gentle after all. She's still pregnant and that's Lindsay and I's child. Zack's hands kept wandering around me restlessly. Brothers, we know our limits and we promise not to hurt your child at all. After that, Zack picked me up and walked upstairs. I looked at Joe desperately. You'll regret it. In addition to the drug that arouses your lust, I also added a dose of anesthetic to your glass of water, which can make people forget the most painful things. When you wake up tomorrow, you will still be a lapdog next to Joe, Lindsay said proudly and raised the wine glass in his hand. I wish you a good dream tonight, she said finally. The next second, my world fell into darkness. In the dark night, I only felt something tearing me apart, almost tearing me to pieces. When I woke up again, I was lying naked on the floor, with large pieces of blood pouring out from under me. Save me. I struggled to crawl to the door and knocked hard. There was a burst of laughter outside the door. Don't pretend. Your moaning just now was louder than anyone else's. You better get some good sleep. You won't remember anything when you wake up tomorrow. Then Joe's voice sounded. Since the business is done, let's move on to the next one. Then I heard a loud bang of the door closing, isolating me in despair. I struggled to open the door and crawl out. The bright red blood flowed along my back into a bloody path, which was shocking. I crawled downstairs and got my phone to call the hospital. When I woke up again, I was already in the ward full of the smell of disinfectant. Miss Jones, your child was not saved. What do you think we should do with the child's body? The nurse looked at me sympathetically. I looked at the things the nurse handed over calmly. Please call a courier for me. Joe and his friends returned home after a night of fun. As soon as they opened the door, they saw a shocking bloody road winding from upstairs to the living room. What's going on? Lily. Joe ran upstairs like crazy. There was no one in the room except a large pool of blood. Just then, the doorbell rang at the door. Hello, is this Mr. Brown? There is a courier for you. Please sign for it in person.